Hey, I'm Laura K. Thompson. I'm here to share my testimony on Tuesday, and I hope you have a great rest of your Holy Week. So, I've known this church for all of my life, and yes, I was one of those little girls in the dresses with a big bow on top of their head. I never knew Jesus until recently. It was one of the best decisions I've ever made. So there was this thing called FCA, I'm going back in my 6th grade year, and it was about church for younger people. Instead of like a whole big sermon, it was like a 20-minute little quick sermon. And I went and understood like some of it, but not all of it. And then I continued going my 7th grade year. Then the director started talking about a beach trip, going to the Myrtle Beach Chapel and going to do Praise Jesus. So I was thinking, okay, heck yeah, the beach, 1, and Jesus, 2. And I was like, okay, I'm going. So I went. I was on all-time Jesus high, and I thought I gave my life to Jesus. I just pushed him aside. It wasn't the #1 thing on top of my list. So then February hit. My grandmother, who had multiple types of cancer and who is one of the strongest people I know to this day, was going downhill. She soon passed, and it felt like I lost a part of myself. And then June came along. You could think, oh my gosh, June, you're out of school, things could be so much better. No. My mom wanted to talk to me, she came along. She told me my aunt had breast cancer. It was the first type of cancer my aunt had, and it was a struggle to look on the bright side of things because I didn't want to lose my aunt like I lost my grandma. Then August came along. You would think I would also be excited about this, but Hunter was going to college. It felt like I lost my best friend. I told him everything, and now he's an hour away. So in a span of 7 months, I felt like I was hit by a truck. I let my anxiety and depression get the best of me, and it was one of the lowest points in my life. I went back to school, FCA and dance, and took my mind off things for a little bit. Then the FCA trip came along for the 2nd year. I gave my life to Jesus again. I put him aside again. And then, I kept going with life, and then I found out girls can be really mean the hard way, and it put me back in the state of depression I was those 7 months. And then December came along. It was Christmas time, my grandma's favorite holiday, and this was one of the first times we were without her for Christmas. So December was filled with tears and wondering why. I needed Jesus in my life, and that's when January finally came in and said, hey, you need to get Jesus in your life, you need to tell people what's wrong with you, and your life could be so much better. So I finally told my parents about my anxiety and depression. I went and talked to a group of people at church, and I want to thank them. It was Miss Brittany, Pastor Carl, and Miss Maggie. Yes, I know it's hard to put Jesus first, but it is one of the best things I've ever done in my life. And I know knowing Jesus will get me one step closer to my all-time final goal. When it comes to my time, I can pass on, go to heaven, and see my grandma. And I just want to thank the church for being there for me.